Hello everyone, welcome to the January 27th, 2019 edition of the Astrology News Report. I'm your intrepid host, Ron Berger. In this segment, we'll take a look at the upcoming planetary patterns and predictions, what's on the celestial agenda for January 27th to February 3rd and beyond. But before beginning, a little reminder to viewers to please help out covering the costs of keeping this weekly report going. A big thank you to those of you who have contributed, but many more have not. Just click on the link at the end of the video to make your donation. Thanks. The main event up in the zodiac this week is Venus changing signs. Venus entered sidereal Scorpio on January 1st, and having spent a month in that sign, Venus now moves to Sagittarius on Tuesday, January 29th. By doing so, Venus leaves the influence of Jupiter and instead will become subject to the influence of Saturn over the coming 4 weeks. Venus in Sagittarius puts the planet of love, harmony, agreement, sociability, pleasures, finance, and guidance in the sign of independence and personal belief. Sagittarius relies on its own version of truth and is ready to fight with anyone who doesn't agree. So this is not the best placement for Venus. The normal inclination of Venus is to sacrifice self for the sake of maintaining harmony, and that doesn't work so well in an egoic fire sign like Sagittarius. On the other hand, Sagittarius does like human interaction. It is a gregarious sign, and this characteristic of Sagittarius does work well with the Venus quality of sociability. But another feature of this transit is that Venus will be combining with Saturn. Venus is one of the natural benefic planets in Vedic astrology, so its association with another planet is usually good for the significations of that other planet. Saturn is the planet of the established order, so Venus combining with Saturn will help the establishment. Saturn is the planet of old people, our elders. Venus, the planet of love, combined with Saturn is good news for older people. But going in the other direction, Saturn is one of the natural malefic planets, and it's not so good for the other planet it combines with. Saturn is the planet of restriction, delay, harsh realities, circumstances you can't get out of. Therefore, Venus significations of harmony and agreement can get held back. Agreement is harder to find. Saturn, the planet of responsibility, with Venus, planet of love, requires that you be responsible to your lover. And on the downside, the planet of harsh reality can even put the kibosh on romance altogether. But in another way, Saturn's quality of harsh realities can sometimes force a Venus agreement. Another upcoming government shutdown would be one example. The Congress critters are quite fearful of having a repeat of what they just went through. As a resolution gets further delayed and Venus gets closer to Saturn, the hardships and pressure caused by Saturn's restrictive energy will have a greater effect on another of Venus's significations. Since Venus is the planet of money, it represents the financial sector, in other words, businesses and the financial markets. Saturn is a no-nonsense energy. Saturn focuses the mind and brings everyone to their senses. Thus, the reality check planet will compel the Congress critters, always sensitive to their big donors and the voters, to find a Venus compromise that will avoid having to go through shutdown number 2. Interesting, too, is the position of the Venus-Saturn conjunction as it affects the USA chart. Sagittarius is the U.S. Ascendant sign, So the results of this transit combination will certainly be felt by the country as the planets get closer together and the energy intensifies over the coming weeks. The exact conjunction of Venus and Saturn is on February 18th, when both planets will be at 22 degrees sidereal Sagittarius. A week after that, Venus will leave Sagittarius, and thus escape from Saturn, on February 24th, when it will move into Capricorn. But then, Venus will have to deal with Ketu. I'll have more to say about that in a report coming later in February. And now, before leaving, a short pitch for donations. It does take a lot of time and effort to put these videos together. I'm not just sitting in front of a microphone and with a camera on my face. You can show your appreciation for what this YouTube channel does for you by donating a few bucks to the cause. Just click on or touch the donation card you see here, which will take you to the donation page. Thanks, and until next week.